Alright, so I thought I was in a fix because the motherboard screws were not actually in the box, neither in the cabinet package, right? So it was not here and not here. So where the fuck did it go? So I kind of found it. I called Corsair India, I called Gigabyte India. Gigabyte did not respond. Corsair responded, told that you need to ask Gigabyte. Called Gigabyte, they did not respond again. But then I discovered it myself. In a moment, I'll show you because I found it and put back all the stuff together to show you, how exactly I found it. So just a hint. Can you see something over there? Right, in the drive bay. This is where the hard drive goes actually. We can see it from the back side, not from here. So I saw there is something over here, right? Alright, I'll show you. This is basically the back side. So I'll unscrew it. It's quite easy. Alright. And basically you need to slide it like this. Try again a bit harder. Be a bit more gentle, don't do what I just did. Alright, so you now see a whole lot of mess. You're going to see this back side a lot in the coming few minutes of the video, because this is where all the cable management stuff goes on, right? So you can see the PSU shroud over here. So this is the place where the PSU will go into, power supply unit, right? So this is the drive bay where actually the hard drive goes into, the SATA hard drive goes into, yeah. The first one is already occupied with some stuff, some mysterious stuff which I have no idea of till now. I just re-recorded this video for you. So yes, I don't have any idea. You can take this thing out. Alright. See, all the stuff which you need. Washers, ties, because there is going to be a lot of cable management over here. There are a lot of cables. Now, what are you supposed to do with this, right? Now imagine this stuff goes over here. So there would be like a jungle, a mess of cables, right? So you need to properly manage them. And to manage them, you will be needing a lot of ties. So basically there are 10 ties in this. And here comes and here is my favorite part. Basically, it has got everything that you need. Seriously, everything that you need. I'll just show you. So yeah, this is the motherboard screw. This is for the fans, I guess. I don't know what this is for. Anyways, so basically there is sufficient stuff in this. So Corsair, thank you. And also FU, right? To confuse me. Yeah, so I have pretty much everything in place. Now I just need to install the motherboard. So that's the next thing you will see. So again, a close view of the cabinet itself. So yeah, cabinet was properly thought of, right? So there are places where you can tie your cables. This is where you can take out the cables from. This is where the cables will go through from the front to back or back to front as needed. Alright, let's start with the motherboard mounting, right? Let's see. Actually, if you wish, you can remove this stuff. This can be easily installed later on, so I guess you should remove this for now. This, if you can see this, is the most important bit that you will find in the screwdriver set, right? You can literally open all the stuff that you need through this. Believe me, till now I have not changed the bit even once. You won't need anything else actually. Alright, so let's keep this separate because we'll be installing this again after a while. So now let's flip it over. This is where the power supply unit will go into. This is the drive bay for the SATA hard drive, and these are some of the slots from where actually you can run through the wires through these slots, this and this and this, so you don't need to really worry about the cable management over here, right? So more or less everything that you need can be fit to these or these three, lot of stuff. So this is an amazing cabinet overall. So now let's change camera positions. Now don't get distracted by the motherboard. We'll just install this in a moment. Before that, we need to configure our PSU, right? As you can see, there is a very limited space over here for the PSU to go into, power supply unit to go into, and there are basically 3 fans over here. There is the drive bay. So this is the main thing where all the juice will come from. By juice I mean power. Okay, so now you imagine this stuff. This stuff in a few moments will be placed like this. So this gives you a very good idea. So this is a good trick that you can use actually to install, to position your wires and for all the cable management that you need. Is that imagine this stuff right here, but inverse, because this will be actually positioned like that. So what you see over here will actually go over here. The things at the top will remain at the top, and the graphics card will be somewhere over here. That's the most important thing. Other things will follow, so it's not very difficult to understand. So yeah, alright. Alright, let's lock this in position because this is getting very difficult, right? So I'll give you a side view now. There are 4 holes, easy peasy, not so difficult. Currently this is kind of misaligned, so I'll need to pull it up and line the holes. Not a big task, so I'll do it and you can just see from the top view. Basic cable management before we proceed with the screwing of this thing. So basically this 24 pin connector is over here. Now you can imagine this will be mounted like this, and obviously this will turn back. So this connector will actually go somewhere over here, right? So let's put it in, right? Cool. Now there is a 12 volt CPU connector, right? 12 volt connector for the CPU power supply, right? Can you see this? Right, so this will go over here. So now you put it like this, again rotate it, and you can imagine this will lie somewhere over here, right? Right, nice and smooth, no cables overlapping. That should not be the case. Now the PCI Express connector. So you can see the graphics card is somewhere over here in the middle of the board. So that will be horizontally aligned like that. So you need to insert the PCI Express. You need to insert the PCI Express over here. Here, nice, बढ़िया. Now I should rather screw this into position, right? So they are 4 in number. Yeah, and they will go into the 4 holes which I just showed you. Let's tighten that. Alright, so remember all the things we put in through from the back. So this is kind of a front view of that, and I'll just explain to you what everything is. This is basically the 12 volt supply to the motherboard. This is the 24 pin connector, and this thick thing is the PCI Express, right, which will go into the graphics card over here. So more or less everything is kind of in place and managed. And what about this? This whole lot of wire actually comes in with this cabinet, right? So I'll show you what the front panel exactly is. So there is the power switch, there is the reset button, I guess, and there is the USB. There are two USBs, and there is the audio jack. There is the front panel LED positive, there is the front panel LED negative, there is the reset switch, and there is the power switch. So yeah, I suggest that you remove all this stuff from here, right? For that, you'll need to have a back view. Here we are at the back side of the cabinet again. These are the connectors for the SSDs and the hard drives. The SSDs which may be mounted over here in the future, the hard drive which will be over here, and for the RGB fan connector, right? So both of these are essentially the same thing. This is from Corsair. This is a part of the cabinet which I just removed, I showed you, and this comes with the AntEsports fans which I ordered. This will be used to connect and program and configure and control the fans which are inbuilt with this case, Corsair IQ220T RGB fans. Alright, so I removed that stuff. I will attach it on a later stage over here. Similarly, I'll keep this somewhere over here. There is plenty of space, so that's not a problem. The real problem is this, the wires. So yeah, this is the 24-pin ATX connector which I just showed you, and it is in place. PCI Express connector in place. I unplugged these three from the fan controller, inbuilt fan controller setup. So I'll plug them again once the power connections are done. So just keep it somewhere over here. Alright, this is the USB 3.0 connector which will go somewhere over here from the bottom side of the cabinet. So I will reinsert them somewhere over here. There's a plenty lot of space over here for you to insert anything that you want. Yeah, and also there is the audio connector. Basically the audio will go somewhere over here. Somewhere over here. So this is the place where the audio is going to go. Alright, so let's place everything in position. Alright, so let's bring it over here. Yeah, right, nice and smooth, nice and smooth, nice and smooth. Yeah, good. Very good. And try to ensure that there is no cable overlap anywhere. That just reduces the space unnecessarily. So you need to see that everything is no overlap. This is one of the best ways you can actually assemble stuff. So the audio is in place. Yeah, so it's done. All that stuff over here, tuck them in over here. Alright. These are some of the screws which you actually get, right? So these big ones, the rugged looking ones, are for the fan assembly, right? So you don't need to worry about that. Then comes the 632 which I'm talking about, and there is the countersunk. This is actually a good place to keep your screws when you're assembling. So that's one, and yeah, that's all you need. Let's see. 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 9, right? Now comes the main thing, the motherboard. Alright. Yeah. So is it the place to check it? Just have a feel where your standoffs are. Alright, so your motherboard needs to be exactly, on top of the standoffs. And take any one of them. So you first screw the middle hole. The second one, yeah. This one is in line. Yeah, a bit displaced. All right. This one is also a bit displaced, so this needs to be rotated a bit, like, yeah, that. Alright, so to be honest, this is not a proper fit. Seriously, believe me, it would not have been possible if this was not magnetic. I mean, you would have died trying, and this thing just won't, get in place. You done and dusted. Cool. All right. Alright, so let's plug in all the stuff. 24 pin goes somewhere over here. All the power that you have, The graphics card is still to be mounted, so let's leave this for a while. Now this USB connector, that is for the Wrath Prism cooler, I suggest you take it all the way back and keep it like this. Once we get the graphics card in, then we can plug in the PCI Express. This is in place, everything is in place. What I want you to do now you can easily plug in the audio over here, not a big issue. So let's flip again. Cool. So there is a plenty lot of mess over here. I'm currently not worrying so much about the PCI Express and the front panels, but this is something which is kind of troubling, right? So yeah, this is the thing which is troubling me, the USB 3.0. It has to be connected over here, or maybe over here, right? So I'll have to think what exactly to do. Alright, so it's fitted. Now let's bring back our RGB cooler USB header and plug it. So I have chosen the USB 1, USB 2.0 first slot. Just like this system goes over here, right? Alright, so don't need to think too much about it. USB 3.0 is connected. Cooler USB RGB header is connected, and now let's take one of these off, and then we'll install the graphics card. Where the support is going to land at, right? So this will actually go in this port, this slot. Alright, so yeah, you need to remove the second and the third brackets, right? Alright, so let's do that. Hold it like this, right? From the middle, don't touch the fans, not at all. Please don't do that. And fit this wire in this slot fit this wire in the slot which I just showed you, like that. And then, and just like a RAM, push it in. So the entire load should not come on the slot. Alright. Now it's very simple. Just plug. This is a 6+2 connector, so you might be confused whether to use all the 8 together like this or just 6. So yeah, that can be confusing a bit, but I'll clear that in a moment. This entire thing will go into the slot, right? This directly comes from the power supply unit, as you can remember. All right, nice and tidy. Now let's set up the reset switch, the power switch, the power LED plus and the minus terminals, right? So now what Gigabyte has done inside the motherboard cabinet, actually it gives you this thing which is called the G connector, right? Can you see this? All right, so basically all the stuff that you just saw can actually be plugged in over here, plugged in over here, and this thing can directly go inside over here, right? Over there, like I'll just show you. All right, so this is the reset, this is the power, this is the power LED plus and the power LED minus. So yeah, definitely. All right, so this is sort of a snug fit and you don't really need to worry about it. One by one, if you put it all in, it will just make a clicking sound. That means all of that stuff is in position. I hope nothing happens. So yeah, everything is in place. Now let's set up the fans. Alright, so one last thing I forgot kind of. So this audio header needs to be plugged in, right? It can be turned. Alright, connected, right? One more thing remains over here. You can see the 12-volt power supply is still not connected. So yeah, so you can see there is sort of a clamp over here, something like that, right? It's troublesome, seriously. And just check once that everything is tight and has a nice fit. There is no joint which is kind of overstressed a lot. Audio header. All right. Audio header, the USB RGB connector for the cooler, for this the USB RGB connector for the fan cooler, the USB 3.0, the front panels. So everything is set up. Nice. Now let's mount the fans. There would be two fans over here, right? One probably like this and the second one like this, and the third fan will be over here. All right, here you can position them like in any way that you want. Maybe over here, and the second one somewhere over here. right? So there would be 3 fans corresponding to the 3 inlet fans. There would be 3 outlet as well. Alright, so let's put up the fans.